Gather around in a journey to ancient Greece as I tell you something that you don't know but you will very soon do. So we got these new toys which we get from I literally don't know where, but you guys know, so probably that's why you're here, right? And these two toys both are Greek. The names are Greek. Now, this first one we have seen before when we spoke about Light Wardens back in that other video where I spoke about the Light Warden called Philia. Philia in Greek means friendship. Philos means, well, friend, alright? So it's abundantly clear that this one is gonna be Hythlodaeus. Like, I know this preemptively, I don't even need to look at the minion, even though, like, come on, like, you can just click on it and just see it, right? It is Hythlodaeus very much indeed, and it's called Philos because he is your old new friend, or your new old friend, or whatever. I'm not going for maps, wouldn't I? Actually, I don't even know how you get maps, if you guys would let me know on the chat. But here is when it gets wild. Wind up Aidoneus. Okay, you guys would pronounce this Aidoneus. I pronounce this Aidoneus. And here is the problem. You see, the nephs at the part could come from the Greek word nephos, meaning cloud, but it's not it. Or it could come from the Greek word neos, meaning young, or, you know, youth, or, you know, young man. So I believe that by this attribute you can get. Here is when it gets interesting. How would you pronounce this? There are three possible situations that I have managed to address. There are three possible conclusions that I have managed to reach. The first one is the evident one, Aidós. Aidós in ancient Greeks means shyness or dignity or, you know, being kept to yourself, you know? But I think that shyness and dignity properly portrayed it. So it could be the dignified youth, it could be the youth that is shy, or, and here's where we go interesting. What if instead of Aidós, where the tonos, the Greek pointy, comes on the omega, on the second part, right? We put the tonos on the alpha, on the first letter. So instead of Aidoneus, we call him Aidoneus. Now, in Greek, Aidoni is a birdie, you know? It's this birdie right here. I don't know how to call it in English, but it's a birdie, alright? Now, and here's where we're gonna focus. Aidoni, this birdie, despite its humble custom, you know, the way it looks, is considered from almost everybody the birdie that has the most beautiful chirping in the whole world. Even though this is subjective, of course, scientific analysis with the usage of difficult, they're like filmographers that actually, you know, show that the birdie produces voices that no other birdie can produce. It's amazing. Like, it sings pretty well, you know? I don't know how to call it in English though, so you guys will have to bear with me. Their scientific name is called Lucinia megarichos. Megarichos? Okay, it is what it is, you know? So this is the birdie that I'm talking about, right? What if this is a parallel between Hemet-Selch, you know, Hades, and Aidoni? The person that, despite looking humble, and Hemet-Selch, you can say he was not very arrogant, right? You can say that he was humble in a sense, I guess. I don't know, this is subjective, maybe he wasn't, alright? He does have the most beautiful chirping. And then I realized that this interpretation is kinda empty, it's missing something, because you see, Hades in Greek is Άδης, Αηδόνη, Άδης. Ignore Αιδώ, Αηδόνη, Άδης. So I went over here and I checked out about the Greek ancient god Hades. Hades in Greek mythology meant the underworld itself, as well as, you know, the god himself as well. This word, it usually came, it was only for the god, but then it started to describe the underworld as well. Where I want to focus is η γενική πτώση. Η γενική πτώση is the equivalent of whom in Greek. For example, we have η ελπίδα, the hope, της ελπίδος, of hope, you know, της ελπίδος η χαρά, joy of hope, you know. So Initially, γενική πτώση, the off part came from the Greek word Αηδού, okay? Which was the short word of describing House of Hades. Now, if you take this into consideration and you combine Αηδού with Nefs, meaning, I speculate, Neos, you literally have the word produced young Hades. Αηδού Neos, or Neos, the youth of Αηδού, of the House of Hades. Who is the youth of the House of Hades? Baby Hades. What is that? What you get? Baby Hades. And here I want to focus for a moment and make a direct comparison, because in my previous stream, which happened on Monday, 23rd of January, they told us. So I had a viewer. I think it was Heaven Birch, if I recall correctly, that asked me about the word keeper perithalis. Perithalis sounds like a Greek word, and it was from World of Warcraft, the new zone. Unfortunately, I informed my viewer that that word, even though it could mean like thalis, you know, the philosopher, and peri, meaning around, peri is, like surrounding something, you know. In that case in which it was used, we tried to find the context. There was no context. It was random crap hole. Here in Final Fantasy XIV, it's not just that it's not random crap hole and that it is very specific, but I, a Greek man, managed to give you guys 3 different interpretations for the little minion that we have here. Is it the shy or the dignified youth? Is it the humble that has a very beautiful chirping type of youth? Or is it actually the youth that comes of the House of Hades, meaning baby Hades? I think that that analysis is correct when you read the minion's description. Let's try to do that, because I don't want, the last one, I see. I don't read the descriptions before I give you my analysis, because you see, fellas, if I read this and then I try to explain it, I will be biased towards it. But if I read all the possible explanations based on the name, the outcome you can get to might be different than the outcome I get to. What I'm trying to say is that I don't want to influence my viewers. I want you guys to be able to have as much of critical thinking based on what I'm giving, right? So this thing says, there once was a man named Ragnar the Red. Oh wait, wrong name, sorry. There once was a man whose ability to see and channel ether was unrivaled. With his singular talent, he kept watch over the underworld. The place where... Okay, so it does talk about the place, lovely, where all departed souls return and solemn serve the star. This mammoth was made in his honor. So you have technically a baby Hades. I guess I too believe then that this is the end, that the final interpretation is correct as well. But you see that too. Item to acquire your wind-up Philos, which is there once was a man who shouldered a heavy responsibility in the capital of the star. In spite of this, he bore a name that made light of himself and delighted in the simple things with his cherished friends. This moment is made in his favor. Fun fact, I encourage you to Google Hythlodaeus in Greek. Well, how would you be able to translate it? Hythlodaeus is a figure in something written during the Roman era, if I recall correctly. What it translates to in Greek is directly the speaker of nonsense. So I believe that when they say he bore a name that made light of himself, I guess that he was not actually a speaker of nonsense. Like this is them delving into the philosophy. But again, that is, I told you, speculation after I have read this part, right? Now, when I Philos, as I told you, it's because of the friend. But I'm really curious about which interpretation of Hades you guys think was actually the most valid, or if you believe that the Lord of Verminion right here, Philos, if you're interested to know that he was very much indeed your new old friend. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment, that's the important part. Drop me a comment, I want to know if you guys are interested in more Greek time stuff. And other than that, thank you for watching.